Hey, welcome back. I got special guests today. I'm super excited to spend some more time with some of my friends, Eric and Julie Prabula. They've got an incredible story. They're about to share that. Eric and Julie, welcome to the channel.
Hey,
Thanks.
thanks for having us, Cody.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are such good people. You've done such amazing, impressive stuff. I mean, one of the things that we're going to talk about soon, for those that are jumping in watching, is how to write 75 apps off of a single lead, which is like crazy. However, before we get there, which is mind blowing, by the way, I would love for you to share really your story, how you got in the industry, what your experience was like, and kind of catch us up to today. I know you're higher level, executive agency owner within Symmetry Financial Group. So I'd love for you to share a little bit of your journey that brought us to today.
Well, I'll let Eric start since he's the one who got me into the business.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, when I was 18 years old, I went to a seminar, right, for A.L. Williams way back in the day. And I wanted to join A.L. Williams and sell life insurance. And my family talked me out of it when I was 18 years old. And I went through all kinds of other things and careers in food and beverage and management and real estate. And it led me back. It led me back to insurance at, I want to say, I don't know, about 10 years ago. And got back into insurance and joined a previous company and just got my license and really just started getting going back in insurance and learning what I had the passion for 10 years previously 10 years ago. And knew that I wanted to build an insurance agency, knew that I wanted to grow this agency and help families.
Yes.
And a few years later, I met Julie.
I love it.
Cody, trust me, that this conversation was part of our dating or courting with Eric. Believe it or not, he brought up index universal life policies on a couple of dates, and
Yes.
I had no idea what this guy was talking about, but until I did. But we moved and bought a home in Austin, Texas, my hometown, I like to say. And that was really where I told Eric, this is your time to follow your dream, right? We're starting off fresh. Build that agency, because building an agency was our first topic of conversation while we were dating on first date. I remember very clearly.
Wow.
Eric said that he wanted to own an agency one day, and I had no idea what that looked like, what that meant. But what I did know, Cody, is that I wanted to be a business owner too. And I love that he aspired to be that. And then, honestly, I speak Spanish. Austin, Texas is a lot of bilingual folks in the territory that we were working. And Eric would ask me to come along and translate, simply just translate until I ran out of sick days, to be honest,
Yeah.
Cody. I ran out of sick days, and I started falling in love with the people, what we were doing, helping the families in a language that they felt most comfortable in, my native language. And I was using business Spanish, which was also a goal of mine to expand on my second language. And that's where I fell in love, was the translating for Eric, and said, eventually I said, I could do this. I could do this too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And why the business owner mentality? Because you already had it and already knew that you wanted to continue that or be in it either way. Previously, where's that come from? Because not a lot of people are thinking that initially,
and I feel like it comes from me personally, my family. My dad's an entrepreneur. A lot of my family are entrepreneurs. And I love being the boss, right? Who doesn't? Who loves that? And ultimately, that was always a goal of mine. Before I even mentioned it to Eric, and he told me about the agency, I knew one day I would have my own business, be my own boss, but never in a bazillion years, Cody, that I think it was like this, to be an agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for me, when I got back into insurance, I was with a different IMO, and it just wasn't the right fit. It was all about building. There wasn't enough really about the customer and what we're going to do for them. It was more about how many people can I get in there, and really, we came into Symmetry. It was all about the customer, but we knew we wanted to build. We knew we wanted to build an agency. We knew we wanted to create a passive income. But at the same time, we became top producers in Symmetry, went on all the trips, you know, had a wonderful vacation in Europe, you know, because we won a contest, right? And then really started to build and tell more people about Symmetry and about what we were doing in Symmetry, to the tune of now over 100 agents in our agency.
Wow.
2.4 million in annual premium last year. So, I mean, it just sprouted, right? And now we get the opportunity to share not only with you here, but we've been sharing with our agency how to write multiple apps, how to go into the home and do what we've done. So that's been beneficial.
It's incredible. And at what stage, like how long to go from 0 to over 100 agents? Like at what point did y'all get really serious about adding people and recruiting?
Yeah, great question. You want to?
Well, I just know I want to dive in really quickly because it didn't happen very fast, as you remember, honey, because there wasn't. I don't think we really understood how to build. I know I didn't,
Yeah.
and we were a team. I mean, Eric knew how to produce. He was a producer, right? I felt like I was the pitcher, pitching him up to Eric, and that's how we identify our roles to a certain extent. But on for me, Cody, to meet people in the organization that follow, first of all, that preach core values and
Mm,
follow the core values, that was a no-brainer for me. I felt like, and I hear now a lot of people when we go to conference say, I found my tribe. We felt that with Symmetry. We felt that we found our people that are, you know, that are real. First of all, we try to poke, I know I tried to poke a lot of holes in it, and it never popped. And when we finally said, okay, we got to give this 90 days, like they say,
mm,
we never really looked back after that.
it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, as far as the building side and how it took off, Julie's exactly right. We didn't have a system. Like Symmetry was still just a few years in its inception when we came in, right? So we came into Symmetry about 6 years ago, right? Symmetry's
Wow.
been around for about 11, 12 years now. So we came in right about the middle of where they're at now, right? So halfway there. And
It's cool.
there wasn't a system set up. We had to learn that. And I tell new agents all the time, I say, we have the system. We have the
Mm,
foundation. We worked hard to get that foundation. We went through the growing pains to get you that foundation so you can get to it faster. And
yes.
if you want it. And
Correct. That's strong. That's so good. Also, too, I want to mention too that you're doing a free training on really to go deeper on how to write 75 apps off of one single lead. We'll make sure we throw the link in description below for anybody that wants to learn more about that. But I want to go back to one thing that you mentioned, which was systems. I get messages from agents all day, every single day, that are struggling with systems and finding a home and plugging into the right processes. And it's so interesting and important that you're bringing that up, because I feel like a lot of agents just don't know what to do on a weekly basis. You know, how important is the system, and how has it evolved, and how does it just continue to thrive and get better?
You know, I had to giggle when you were talking about system because as a serial entrepreneur, I created a lot of systems. I had to for
Mm,
a lot of the businesses and startups that I worked with and for. And that's no fun. You know, it's fun when you follow a system that works. And I was so beyond happy to find out I did not have to reinvent any of it. I did not have to create a script. I did not have to create a system or process. It was there. All I had to do was follow it, be consistent, and tell more people about it. And that's really, gosh, that is the way a system should work, tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
And we poked holes until we couldn't, and we couldn't find anything wrong with it. It was what you end up finding is what's wrong with you, right? Why aren't you following that system? Why do you feel like you have to create or recreate the wheel when it's working for so many people around us?
Yes, that happens so much too. I noticed that the agents that they feel like they've got to make their own way, instead of finding someone like y'all that are really successful and just doing. I guess it's maybe because you want to be your own boss, so we want to feel like we're making all of our own decisions, and you really are. However, if someone's like a millionaire and doing well, and they tell me to do this, and I'm not, if they have some values and I trust them, right, and there's some mentorship there, then maybe I should just listen, and do that. Why do you think so many agents struggle with plugging in and just being coachable in general?
Ooh, it's a lot of it coming out of here and not enough going into here.
Cody, I really think it comes from personal development. We read a book called The Five Voices. It teaches you your voice order, right? I'm a connector creative. Julie's a creative connector. But there's all these different voices, right? 5 different voices. And you have some of those voices in each one. So you really have to be able to identify who you're talking to on the other side of the table from a customer standpoint, and also from someone that's coming into your agency. I need to understand who is this that's coming into the agency, and what are their attributes, and what else do they need to work on? And then I can help them from that standpoint. But anyone that comes in that just doesn't follow the system or doesn't buy leads and then dial those leads, you got to actually call them, right? So call the leads and then go see the people, whether it's on Zoom or in person or on the phone, then they're not following it. And it's pretty easy system. We just have to remain diligent and follow it.
Yeah. You also don't do the work for them, they've got to try a little, It's interesting how that works. One of the things that I wanted to jump to is I want to really talk a little more high level on how to write 75 apps off one single lead. When I first heard that a few months ago, I think it was our buddy Ashton that maybe told me about that first. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is that even possible? And it wasn't so normally the first thing what people would think is, I know people have done some big numbers off one lead, but normally it was a big group deal, right? Like a company, like a huge group, right? Was that the case here?
Cody, when you say that, I often think, why don't we have that opposite vision, and why don't we write 75 apps or more, or close to it, off a single lead? This is usually a family. It's not just one person. It's usually a household, and they usually know a couple of people, right, that they really care about and think that would benefit from something that they're getting. So it's on us to go that extra mile, to go above and beyond, because it's our business, right? They're practically free leads if you look at it that way, referrals. Yeah. And it's really about listening. And I like to go back to that listening part of it, because when you listen, things come out, very valuable information comes out, and it's relevant to what you're doing. You got to record it. I'm meticulous about taking notes on the phone and in the home. I like to call myself Chatty Catty, but only talking about relevant situations or things that are relevant to what we're talking about. It might sound like it's not, but Eric knows what I'm doing when I'm in the home, asking the tough questions, or the family questions, the love questions.
That's right. What do you think about that, Eric?
Oh, she's great. So when she's on the phones and she's getting all the information, she's always listening for anything in the background, right? Like kids running around or anything like that. And she'll bring it up right on the phone. She'll be like, "Oh, is that a baby I hear? Oh yeah, I take care of my grandchild one day a week, you know."
Oh,
So
wow.
she learns, right? She learns about the client. And then she always in the appointment, it's set on my calendar, right? This was before there was a time that I went into the home alone, and then we went together for what after that we figured, why don't we go together? This is perfect. You know, we can hang out together and we can go into the home, have a good day, meet a bunch of people, and write a bunch of apps. So we started going together afterwards. But when I would look at her notes, I would like literally be on my way to the appointment, Cody, and by the time I pulled to the front door, all I had to do is put up my notes and I knew exactly what I was doing because she just had it all on there for me.
My
So
mentor.
smart.
Go ahead.
Well, I just was gonna say that's so smart. Most people are ignoring it, or they're hearing the baby in the background. They're thinking, "Oh my gosh, if I could just get this person to focus." They're viewing it negatively, and you're viewing it the opposite way.
We're thinking like we're writing children's apps.
That's exactly what we're thinking. That's exactly right, Cody. And I'm a big observer. I've been known to be very observant of a lot of things. And I always look for 5 special things on the phone, right? And it is those babies, those children. I call them referrals. I call them beneficiaries. That's what they become when I'm taking my notes. I love asking about work, because work is a whole world of information. Am I going to replace a policy because they already have one through work, or am I going to add to their policies? Do they like their job? People just will tell you anything if you listen, right? And sometimes that's even a potential recruit for us if they don't like their job, or they're about to retire, right? That's huge. Retirement is another big part of, we're going to keep this conversation going. Now that I know you're retired, it's on my calendar because you told me the date and time that you're looking to do that. People know when they're retiring. So just asking those critical questions on the phone and never hanging up without getting that information. It's going to prepare you for absolutely multiple apps in the home.
So good. Oh my gosh. I could talk to the two of you all day. I mean, this interview could turn into like literally an entire 2-day boot camp almost, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I know that we're about to jump into recording your free training, talking about, hey, how do you do 75 apps on one lead that people can get access to in the description. But I want to thank you both for taking a few minutes, and we're definitely on Prebulas back. I know you guys are like, are you really already done? Like, I want to keep listening to them and I want to keep asking them questions. But due to time constraints, I want to make sure that we're respectful of their time, and my team tends to book me up like crazy. So thank you to the both of you. You are awesome. I appreciate sharing your story and your success. It really gives a lot of agents hope, and y'all are absolutely incredible people. And I love getting to hang out with both of you. So thank you so much.
Hey, we love you, Cody.
Thank you. Just don't quit.
You. That's right. Appreciate you being on the channel, and you guys check out and wait for the next interview. See you soon. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. Welcome back to the CA YouTube channel. I love finding special guests that know special information and that can help everyone as they are trying to blow up their business. This cat I got today, okay, he may not even love being called a cat, but I'm telling you, this dude is impressive.